Fish keeping is all zen until your peaceful aquarium turns into a full-blown reality show, fish drama included. Yes, keeping fish can get messy, literally and figuratively. You follow TikTok hacks or advice from viral YouTube channels and suddenly your tank smells wrong. Yeah, been there. Let's dive into the 10 fish keeping habits I've ditched, because trust me, your fish and your sanity will thank you. Let's start with the messiest drama queens of the aquatic world, aggressive fish. These guys are always ready to throw fins if someone so much as breathes near their favorite rock. And if you're not feeding them enough, well, let's just say the tank vibes go from peaceful meditation retreat to chaotic episodes of a reality show where everyone's yelling and flipping tables, except the tables are caves and the yelling is fin flaring and chasing. Here's the thing about aggressive fish. Their behavior is wired into their DNA. Cichlids, bettas, and other territorial species are not exactly known for their patience. When food's scarce, it triggers their primal instincts, which basically scream, "Must protect resources." The dominant fish will bully their way to the food, leaving the smaller, less aggressive ones hiding in the corners like they've been grounded. This isn't just mean behavior, it's stressful for the whole tank. And stress in fish isn't just a bad mood, it's a direct link to health problems. Stress weakens their immune system, making them more vulnerable to diseases like ick and fin rot. Oh, and those fights over food? They can lead to torn fins and injuries, which only add more stress. It's a vicious cycle, and it all starts with underfeeding. The solution? Feed them right. And no, this doesn't just mean tossing in extra food and hoping for the best, it's all about strategy. Spread food across multiple spots in the tank so everyone gets a shot. Use sinking pellets for bottom dwellers and floating flakes for surface feeders. If one fish is particularly aggressive, try target feeding them with tweezers or a turkey baster to distract them while the others eat in peace. Feeding time should feel like a community dinner, not a survival competition. When it comes to aggressive fish, feeding them a lot keeps them fat and mild-mannered. With aggressive tanks, waste is always an issue, so cleaning more is a non-factor. Oh, and one more thing, watch your feeding routine. Consistency is key. Feed them at the same time each day so they know food's coming. When they're not constantly worried about where their next meal's gonna come from, they're much less likely to turn into underwater hooligans. Now let's address the opposite problem, overfeeding peaceful community fish. You might think you're being generous by giving your fish a little extra, but let me tell you, overfeeding is a one-way ticket to Disasterville. When you overfeed, your tank doesn't say, "Oh, thank you, kind fish keeper." It says, "Oh, cool, let me turn into a swamp." Here's what's actually happening. Fish eat what they can, but they don't stop when they're full because, well, they're opportunists. Leftover food sinks to the bottom, breaks down, and starts releasing ammonia. And ammonia isn't just bad, it's a silent killer. Even small amounts can irritate your fish's gills, weaken their immune systems, and if left unchecked, turn your tank into a toxic soup. And don't even get me started on algae blooms. Overfeeding is like sending an open invite to the algae party, and trust me, they RSVP every time. But what about your fish? Overfeeding can mess with their health too. Too much protein-heavy food can cause bloating, swim bladder issues, and even obesity in fish. Yes, your fish can get fat. And no, it's not cute when they're struggling to swim because they've been munching non-stop on bloodworms. Here's the fix. Portion control. Feed small amounts, just enough for them to eat in about 2 minutes. If there's leftover food floating around, scoop it out. Don't guilt trip yourself into overfeeding just because your fish are giving you the hungry eyes. They're not starving, they're just really good at pretending. And for all the multitaskers out there, consider investing in an automatic feeder. These handy devices dispense controlled portions, so even when you're busy binge watching your favorite series, your fish are eating properly. No mess, no stress. And my final hack with community tanks is introducing healthy microfauna. Microfauna like copepods and rotifiers end up being a natural food source for your fish, which means they can snack whenever, and these live foods will balance out their gut health. Alright, let's talk about one of the biggest rookie mistakes in fish keeping, washing filter media under tap water. Look, I get it. You see all that brown slimy gunk and your brain goes, ew, gross, gotta clean this. Let me stop you right there. That gunk, it's not just tank filth, it's a thriving metropolis of beneficial bacteria working 24/7 to keep your tank's water safe. Here's the science. Beneficial bacteria, mostly from the Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter families, live in your filter media. They're the ones who are breaking down ammonia from fish waste into nitrites and then converting those nitrites into nitrates, which are way less toxic. This process is the backbone of your tank's nitrogen cycle, the thing that keeps your fish from swimming in their own toxic waste. Yes, poo. When you rinse your filter media under tap water, you're unleashing chlorine, bacteria's mortal enemy. One quick rinse under the faucet and poof, your hardworking bacterial colony is gone. And when the bacteria die, ammonia spikes and your fish are the ones who suffer. So, what's the right way to clean your filter media? During water changes, save some of that siphoned tank water in a bucket. Use it to gently swish the filter media, just enough to remove the excess debris while keeping the bacteria intact. However, if you have a lot of gunk in the biological filter, I wouldn't always clean it out, because these bacteria cultures are invaluable even if you use tank water. And let's talk maintenance schedules. Check your filter regularly, about once a month is a good starting point. I'd even go a quarter in established tanks. If the media's fallen apart, replace it, but don't replace all of it at once. Stagger replacements so the bacteria have time to repopulate. Oh, and a bonus tip, consider using biomedia like ceramic rings or sponge filters. These have even more surface area for bacteria to colonize, making your tank's filtration system even more robust. Remember, sludge ain't your enemy. Treat it well, and it'll work wonders for your water quality. Let's talk about the bossy, over-dramatic fish in your tank. Every aquarium seems to have that one aggressive fish who thinks it's the ruler of the underwater kingdom, darting around, nipping fins, and generally acting like a small-scale aquatic tyrant. It's pretty frustrating, right? And for a lot of us, the first instinct is to isolate the troublemaker, stick them in a separate tank or throw them into timeout and hope they reflect on their life choices. Spoiler alert, they won't. Here's the truth, isolating an aggressive fish often makes things worse. Aggression in fish isn't a personality flaw, it's an instinct. And isolating them can crank up their stress levels. They might even get more territorial, angrier, and honestly more difficult to manage when they're reintroduced into the main tank. It's like sending them to anger fish camp and expecting them to come back enlightened. So what should you do instead? Rehoming is your best bet. Find a tank setup that better suits their temperament, as some fish are naturally solitary and need their own space, while others thrive with specific tank mates. Research their species and behavior to figure out what kind of environment they need. Maybe it's a larger tank, maybe it's fewer competitors, or fish that are just as feisty as they are. Compatibility is everything, and if rehoming isn't an option, try adjusting the tank's layout. Add more hiding spots like caves, plants, or decorations to break up sightlines and reduce opportunities for confrontation. Rearrange the tank before introducing new fish so the aggressive ones don't feel like their territory is being invaded. And when all else fails, consult your local aquarium store or fish keeping community for advice. Aggressive fish aren't bad, they just need the right setup to thrive. Let me tell you about one of the riskiest things you can do as a fish keeper: skipping quarantine for new fish. It's tempting, I know. You bring home a beautiful new fish, and you're so excited to see it swimming with the rest of your tank gang. But here's the deal, adding unquarantined fish to your tank is a recipe for disaster. New fish often carry hidden illnesses or parasites, even if they look healthy. Stress from transport, different water parameters, or even changes in diet can suppress their immune systems, making them more susceptible to diseases. And the kicker? Some diseases take weeks to show symptoms. So while your new fish seems fine at first, it could be harboring something that'll eventually spread like wildfire through your tank. Quarantine isn't just a precaution, it's an absolute must. Set up a separate quarantine tank and keep new fish there for at least 4 weeks. Yes, 4 weeks. This gives you enough time to monitor them for any signs of illnesses and treat them if necessary. A simple sponge filter, heater, and some hiding spots are all you need for a quarantine setup. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it does have to be effective. How long do you keep them in quarantine? Well, 30 days. Don't like to quarantine? Well, then you can try getting fish from a place that does, like Flip Aquatics or TSM Corals. Ooh, and another bonus tip. Quarantine isn't just for freshwater fish. Saltwater fish, especially imports, are even more prone to stress-induced illnesses, and saltwater diseases are far more deadly, so the stakes are even higher. Treat quarantine like the golden rule of fish keeping. It's worth the patience, and your main tank will thank you. Water changes are a cornerstone of fish keeping, but in natural and reef tanks, too much of a good thing can actually mess things up. In planted tanks, excessive water changes can disrupt the delicate balance of nutrients and beneficial microorganisms. Oh, and in reef tanks, you're not just dealing with fish, you've got corals, invertebrates, and all kinds of tiny life forms that thrive in a stable environment. Frequent water changes can throw off the chemical equilibrium, stressing your tank's inhabitants. So what's the alternative? Well, for natural tanks, focus on creating a self-sustaining ecosystem. Live plants, a well-established soil bed, microfauna, and a balanced stock of fish can reduce the need for constant intervention. Water changes in these environments tend to be for corrections. Generally, these setups can go for months without changing water. In reef tanks, refugiums are your best friend. These are dedicated spaces where macroalgae and beneficial organisms help maintain water quality by absorbing excess nutrients. Supplementing trace elements is also crucial since corals and invertebrates rely on a steady supply of things like calcium, magnesium, and strontium. Instead of a heavy-handed water change, focus on maintaining these levels with supplements designed for reef tanks. Replace trace elements as needed and use 2-part or a calcium reactor if you have a lot of hard corals. The key takeaway: stability is the name of the game. Less is often more when it comes to water changes in these setups, and in the tanks I've run, I do get to the point where I don't have to do water changes. If anything, I struggle with nitrates and phosphates and have to dose them. Let's address something controversial in the fish keeping world: designer fish. You've seen them, bubble-eye goldfish, dragon bettas, and other unique breeds that look straight out of a fantasy novel. First glance, they're stunning, but let's dig a little deeper. Designer fish are often the result of generations of selective breeding, and while that might look cool, their health can pay the price. Take bubble-eye goldfish, for example. Those fluid-filled sacs might look fascinating, but they're incredibly delicate and prone to injury. Many designer breeds struggle with physical deformities, impaired swimming ability, and shortened lifespans. Oh, dragon bettas? They've been bred to prioritize aesthetics. These scales can overgrow and cover their eyes, making them functionally blind. While you can remove the scale if you have the experience, it's not a pleasant way to live. Ethically, it's a gray area. Breeding practices that prioritize extreme features often come at the expense of the fish's well-being. As fish keepers, we have a responsibility to consider the health and happiness of the animals we care for. Instead of chasing the latest trendy fish, consider supporting breeders who prioritize health, vitality, and natural traits. There are plenty of beautiful fish out there that don't suffer for their looks. It's not about shaming anyone for their choices, it's about making informed, compassionate decisions. Fish keeping is more than a hobby, it's a commitment to providing the best possible care for living creatures. And when you prioritize health over aesthetics, everyone wins, especially your fish. Alright, Aquarium Salt. It's the all-purpose fix your well-meaning uncle or that one forum post told you about. Got a sick fish? Oh, add some salt. Got algae? Salt again. Stub your toe? Salt might work there too. Okay, maybe not. But here's the thing, if you've got a planted tank, Aquarium Salt isn't your friend. In fact, it's more of a silent assassin for your aquatic greenery. Salt actually damages plants by disrupting their ability to absorb nutrients through their roots and leaves. Most aquarium plants are freshwater species that evolved to thrive in environments with little to no salinity. When you add salt, it creates an imbalance, dehydrating the plants at a cellular level and in extreme cases outright killing them. It doesn't take much either. Even a small amount of salt can cause delicate plants to start yellowing, wilting, or just plain giving up on life. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Salt doesn't just affect plants, it throws off the balance of your tank's ecosystem. The beneficial bacteria in your substrate and filter, the microfauna keeping things clean, the snails and the shrimp that help maintain equilibrium, they're all impacted by elevated salinity levels. A planted tank thrives on stability, and salt is like throwing a wrench into a perfectly calibrated machine. So what do you do when your fish gets sick? Well, go for plant-safe treatments. There are plenty of modern aquarium medications that target common illnesses like ick or fin rot without harming plants or invertebrates. Quarantining sick fish in a separate tank and treating them there is also a great option. You can use salt where it's effective without jeopardizing your main tank's balance. If you're only feeding your fish dead food, flakes, pellets, or even frozen options, you're kind of cheating them out of their natural instincts. Sure, those prepackaged foods are convenient and provide the basics, but they lack the oomph of a live, moving meal. Live foods like brine shrimp, daphnia, or blackworms offer a whole new level of enrichment for your fish. It's not just about the nutrition, though they are packed with fresh proteins, fats, and micronutrients that can't be replicated in processed foods. Live foods also stimulate natural hunting and foraging behaviors. Watching your fish dart around to chase live prey isn't just entertaining, it's how they're wired to survive. It engages their brains and bodies in a way that pellets just can't. Microfauna like copepods or microworms are especially valuable for fry or small species. These tiny critters are nutrient dense and easy for small fish to catch. Plus, they're often easier to culture at home, so you can keep a steady supply without breaking the bank. Frozen foods are also a fantastic option if live foods feel like a hassle. They retain a lot of the nutritional benefits of live prey but are far more convenient to store. Just thaw and serve. Don't worry about escapees wriggling out of your tank. I mean, we've all had that one rogue worm incident, right? Incorporating live or frozen foods into your feeding routine isn't just about replacing flakes or pellets entirely, it's about variety. Think of it as upgrading from a fast food only diet to a balanced meal plan. Your fish will look healthier, act livelier, and thrive in ways that aren't possible on a diet of dead food alone. Alright, now let's talk about the quiet killer lurking in your tank, your heater. Yes, the thing you probably haven't thought about since you set it up and adjusted the temperature. Aquarium heaters fail more often than we'd like to admit, and when they do, the results can range from mildly annoying to downright catastrophic. Here's the problem. Heaters are one of the few pieces of equipment in your tank that are always on, always working, and always exposed to water. Over time, wear and tear can cause malfunctions. Maybe the thermostat gets stuck and suddenly your tank is boiling like a lobster pot, or it stops heating altogether, and your tropical fish wake up in an Arctic freeze. Either way, it's bad news. High-quality heaters are more reliable, but even they aren't immune to failure. The safest bet? Replace your heater every year. It's a small investment that can save you from waking up to a tank full of stressed, or worse, fish. And while you're at it, consider getting a secondary thermometer to cross-check the temperature. Relying solely on the heater's built-in gauge is asking for trouble. For the truly paranoid, and hey, in fish keeping, paranoia ain't a bad thing, you can invest in a heater controller. These devices act as a backup thermostat, cutting power to the heater if it goes rogue. It's like having an emergency brake for your tank. Don't wait for disaster to strike before paying attention to your heater. It's one of those small details that can make a huge difference in your tank's stability, so treat it as a priority, not an afterthought, and your fish will stay cozy and safe year-round. Fish keeping isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So start small, pick one habit to change, and watch your aquarium thrive. Your fish will thank you with every flick of their fins. If this video helped, drop a comment with your favorite takeaway, or share your own fish keeping wins. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more tips to keep your tank thriving. Or better yet, click on the next video to your right. See you next time.